Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton refused to shake hands or even look at each other as they took to the stage for the third and final presidential debate in Las Vegas. It was clear the two of them have grown to despise each other over the course of a brutal campaign. For Mr. Trump, trailing by 9 percentage points and facing a possible landslide, this was the last chance saloon. But if anyone was expecting a barroom brawl, they were mistaken. Mr. Trump finally adopted the calm and measured tone some of his advisors have pushed for. He talked about policy, addressed questions directly, and tried not to interrupt his opponent. There were early discussions on the Supreme Court, abortion, and gun rights, in which voters got to see clear differences between the candidates.
That there can be and must be reasonable regulation.
I am a very strong supporter of the Second Amendment.
Mr. Trump was strongest when he talked about the economy. He promised to renegotiate trade deals and bring back jobs that had been sucked out of states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Florida.
You look at all of the places that I just left. You go to Pennsylvania, you go to Ohio, you go to Florida, you go to any of them. You go upstate New York. Our jobs have fled to Mexico and other places. We're bringing our jobs back.
Most importantly, he hammered home that Mrs. Clinton would raise taxes, while he would cut them, and also control the spiraling national debt.
Her plan is going to raise taxes and even double your taxes. Her tax plan is a disaster, and she can say all she wants about college tuition, and I'm a big proponent. We're going to do a lot of things for college tuition, but...
Mrs. Clinton got the last word, though, pointing out that Mr. Trump's own hotel in Las Vegas was built with Chinese steel. Later, the candidates descended into the mudslinging that has characterized an ugly election. Mr. Trump called his opponent a nasty woman. She called him a puppet of Vladimir Putin.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United
puppet,
States.
no puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged.
Trump then offended Hispanics again by blaming America's drug problems on what he called bad hombres from Mexico.
We're going to secure the border, and once the border is secured, at a later date, we'll make a determination as to the rest. But we have some bad hombres here, and we're going to get them out.
But all of that was dramatically overshadowed by what will go down as one of the biggest moments in any presidential debate.
Sir, that you will absolutely accept the result of this election.
I will look at it at the time. I'm not looking at anything now. I'll look at it at the time.
Mrs. Clinton called his answer horrifying. His own party, even members of his own campaign, were also horrified. In refusing to accept the result, Mr. Trump would plunge America into uncharted territory. For 240 years, no matter how bitter the campaign, the vanquished presidential candidate has always swallowed their pride and publicly conceded. Mr. Trump faced accusations of being un-American and unpatriotic, and of failing to respect the basic foundation of democracy. It undermined what had been by far his most composed and effective performance.